Hi everyone, happy Sunday. I just want to say that I love coming on here and I know it's only been like 5 episodes, but so far I've been loving first of all doing the research for these episodes, but then getting to come on here and share what I've learned in hopes that it's helping everyone out here. So today's episode is about heartbreak and how it happens, what it feels like, and steps we can do to help us feel better if we're in that situation, and also ways to avoid it from happening in the first place. Although it can happen. So first I want to define what is heartbreak. It doesn't have to necessarily be anything romantic. It can also be an end or a closure of a friendship, or maybe a closure of a career or an opportunity, or something that you've been fully vested in, something that you've put a lot of time, a lot of energy in, and it ends. Or it's just not the same. So I'll talk about what that feels like and how to prevent it, and a little bit of what it's like when you're in the middle of it. So I actually have this diagram, and here you have morale, and actually the bottom is time. Actually, let me write that down. So the bottom, and you'll see how that makes sense in a bit, but whenever there is a end of an opportunity, a relationship, anything, there's that initial shock where you're right here, and in that phase, there's surprise or shock at the event ending. Your morale is pretty low, right? But it's not that low yet, because I think the shock is still there, so your adrenaline is still up. So you'll see it takes a further dip. Then there's denial, where your morale shoots up. You're in that denial phase where you're in disbelief that this event has happened. It still hasn't hit you yet, right? Then it hits you because time is passing, and you're in a frustration phase where you're recognizing that, oh shit, like this really happened, this is over, or this job is not working out, or this friendship is fizzling out, or this relationship is ending, it's over, it's run its course. So that's the frustration phase. You see your morale, your competence, it's going down, down, down. I don't like this word, but here's the depression phase, where you're in the lowest mood, lowest energy. I don't know that everyone gets like this low. I guess there's different variations, but this curve is just trying to show that this is probably your lowest peak. You definitely recognize that the event has happened. You're in the main, I guess, the climax of the event, where it's really hit you. Your mood is at your lowest. Your energy levels are at your lowest. And it's just like, damn, here's where I'm at. Again, time is still passing. And as time does pass, this is called the experiment phase, where there is the initial engagement of a new event. So it could be a new career opportunity, a new friendship that comes across, a new person in your life. I don't know, like there's so many, but basically that new event, the initial stage of that new event. So you'll see your morale kind of goes up, 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 and time has passed. And then there's the decision phase, where you're getting accustomed to this new event. So maybe it's your third month at your new job, and it's starting to feel a little less new. You're starting to feel a little more comfortable. You're like, okay, I got this. It's not that bad. I've passed the onboarding phase, and I think I can do this. Your confidence levels are going up. Your energy, your mood, everything is going up. Your morale and competence are going up, as this shows. And then last but not least is integration, where, it says you're a renewed individual. So you'll see that this renewed individual is way higher than obviously the shock of the event happening. But yeah, like see how it's so high. And I guess if there's any takeaway from all of this, all these words and all this graph, it's that time heals all wounds. So I'll put this up for a second so you can see. But basically, I know when you're in the thick of something, it feels like, oh my God, when is this going to end? This sucks. This feels like crap. I just want to get out of this. But if you can just, I'll give you some strategies for when you're in the thick of things, like when you're in this period right here where just your energy levels are low, it just sucks. And then I'll also give you some tips on how to not even get there in the first place. So when you are here, when I guess when the shock is over, when the denial has hit, when you're kind of going down this path. And first of all, it's totally normal to go down this path. So don't beat yourself up, because studies have shown that this is what the curve looks like. So the majority of people go through something like this. So don't feel like, oh, why am I sad? Or why did this happen to me? You know? If anything, use it as a growth opportunity. Look at it as a blessing that you can, get stronger from this incident. I mean, if life was so peachy and perfect, how would we ever learn and grow and build up our strengths, right? So when you are in the thick of things, I think one thing you should do is, if you are feeling sad, don't hold back. I think you should let it loose, if you feel like crying, or I don't know, whatever sadness you experience, let it go. Talk to people. If you like to journal, whatever your thing is, to just don't hold back your emotions, because I think then that this phase right here will last you even longer. Another thing that works is getting those endorphins, those happy hormones up. So make sure that you eat good food. Make sure that you go out and exercise your mind. You can meditate, you can read, you can do things that make you a better person. I think that's always the best thing, because then you're not really, I think, because when you're in this phase, I think we tend to question, like, what's wrong with me? Or why did this happen to me? Or, you question yourself. Your self-esteem is, you're flooding in insecurity, you're like, why me? Like you're not in a very like confident phase right here, So I think what you should do are things that will make you get your confidence up. If you're working out, you will look good. When you look good, you feel good, you're confident. When you eat well, you feel good. When you're not eating sugar and junk food and just foods that make you sleepy and feel gross. When you drink a lot of water, when you're connecting with people you love, like, those like maybe handful or whatever people, but those people that really have your back and that you can confide in, you can lean on those people. What else? There's so many, just things that make you feel like a better person and that are enriching you. Things that don't look outward for validation at that point. I would look inward and try to, make yourself a better person. Stay happy. Be happy that this happened, if that makes sense. I mean, you're in this like phase, it's called depression, but look for strategies to get out of it. Maybe, and maybe it involves rest too, right? Taking naps, taking breaks, maybe saying no to things you don't want to go to, or things that will remind you of that incident. So and also drawing boundaries, but that's part of my preventative section. So those were ideas for how to kind of get out of the funk. First and foremost, let your feelings out. Don't try to escape them. Don't try to avoid them. And then secondly, do things that make you feel better as a person and that make you better as a person. For example, I think when I'm learning new things, I feel more confident. When I work out, I feel more confident. When I'm bettering myself, because I'm not perfect. I have a lot of vices. I have a lot of room for growth. But when I work on that, I feel like a better person. So anyways, work on that. And then strategies to avoid getting yourself in this situation in the first place. Well, first of all, life happens, right? I mean, you may, with a job, things might end. With a friendship, things might fizzle out. And I'm not pointing fingers like it's you are to blame or the other person is to blame, but life happens, right? Or in a romantic relationship as well. Things just happen. People grow apart. Nothing is permanent. I mean, everyone is going to disappoint you. So just just first of all, accept that, maybe be more gracious to yourself, gracious to others, but just know that no one is perfect. You have your flaws. I have my flaws. So the sooner you can accept that and be a little less rigid in that sense, I'm talking about myself too, because I also need to recognize that not everyone's perfect. But when you recognize that, then I think you can kind of avoid these situations from happening in the first place. So how to avoid them is, and this is something I need to learn too, is boundaries. So this is such a hot topic. Everybody's talking about boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Once you set them in the beginning, you probably won't get in these situations as frequently as most people. So learning to establish boundaries, learning to say no, setting expectations from the beginning, whatever that may look like for you, but setting boundaries is so, so, so important. A second thing is not putting all your eggs in one basket. So at the start of anything, right? Maybe it's your dream job. Maybe it's your dream guy, or maybe it's your dream friend. Like, you've never had a friend like this in your life, and everything is, this person is amazing, or this job is just too good to be true. And you are just so in that state of like, wow, amazement, and that you put all your eggs in this one basket, right? You're like fully vested, right? I mean, I can relate to this because I think that I do have my guard up, but when I do allow people in, when I do allow anything I care about, when I do allow a job in, when I do allow, like when you're in my circle, you're in, like I'm a very loyal friend. I can say that. I mean, I have my vices. I'm not perfect, but one thing I can say is that I'm a very loyal person, so when you're in, you're in. However, I feel like I get attached, so I, maybe that's like, that's also like not a good thing, like I get attached, I give my all, but that can maybe either scare people away, or it's just not a good thing. You should never, never, never put all your eggs in one basket. You should have your own individuality. You should have your own boundaries. You should have your own likes, dislikes, your own interests. Nothing should all go towards one opportunity, one career, one friendship, one person, one anything, your children, your parents, anything. You should always compartmentalize and always reserve space for yourself too. And that's not being selfish, that's not, that's just like looking out for yourself so that you don't, like, so this doesn't happen, and so that, you don't get attached. But anyway, so boundaries, and not putting all your eggs in one basket. And that's easier said than done, because when you are at this like dream job, maybe you just want to work hard and just put all your eggs in one basket. But keep in mind, I mean, God forbid, if something were to happen to you tomorrow, that job would fill that position like this, so things like that. Just don't put everything. I'm not saying don't work hard, don't work smart, don't give it your all, don't try your best. No, do all of those things, but just remember to put maybe 75 here and carve out 25 for yourself, or spread yourself, across. Don't put everything, because it's just not good. And you might be like, no, this is the perfect friend, or this is the perfect thing. No, even then, always, it's almost like a savings account, like, okay, invest, but then still set aside some for like a rainy day, or like an emergency, right? So that's one thing. And then last but not least is have fun, like focus on yourself. Life is too short. Always remember that each day is a blessing. So don't get too much stuck in your thoughts. Don't get too much, yes, this may be the dream job, but tomorrow's a brand new day full of different opportunities, and it could go, sour, or it could go up. It's really all up to you and your mental state. The mind is so powerful. So try to keep that as positive as you can and to do your best daily. And that should prevent things like this from happening. But if you are in this situation, keep in mind that time heals all wounds, and that if you work on yourself, things will get better. So I hope this helped. And if you like this, I can share more topics like this. And I hope you have a great day.